Well, this video is kind of dual purpose. I wanted to see inside this before I power it on, but also I figured I'd show what it looks like on the inside. And this is a phase linear Model 4000 Series 2 autocorrelation preamplifier. It's a vintage preamp basically. And I'm not going to tear this down too far, but I figured it'd at least be fun to see under the cover. Make sure there's nothing too egregious going on the inside. Whether or not this has been opened before or not, it's beyond me. Although there's a good chance I'm the first person who's seen under the hood of this thing in quite a while. And just to be safe, I'm going to make sure the screws go back in the same spots they came from, just in case there's something funky about the threads. That one don't want to come out. So I suspect this screw has stripped threads, so I'm going to try lifting up on it while unscrewing it. It's also possible the threads don't go back far enough. So usually if you put a little upwards force on them, they'll find their way and work their way through again. There we go. And you can see they're kind of boogered up towards the head. Also, unfortunately, this will be putting some metal shavings inside the enclosure, but I don't think it'll be too big of a deal, hopefully. Not much to see on the cover here. Really interesting circuit design. Definitely something you're going to be careful with if you ship it. Just noticing that these boards are on their own little riser cards, basically. It's a really unique design. I've never seen a piece of auto gear like this. I'm trying to figure out, this must be the power supply. And 10 volt. Nothing interesting on that label. Strange. I don't want to disturb this too much. It does have a bunch of axial capacitors in them, and then those green ones I believe are film capacitors. Some miscellaneous IC chips. Oh, I'm trying to think about how I want to approach this. Part of me wants to pull one of these cards out for the fun of it, but I don't want to disturb anything. Screw it, we'll find out. Just gently wiggle it out, hopefully. Aha! It's like an old power supply connector. Got a Texas Instruments chip there. RC4136N. Showing about all these little capacitors. And there's a good chance. Actually, I don't know. I don't know if you can hand solder all that. Yeah. Can't tell. Yeah, it looks like there's solder in the traces. I don't know if it's hand soldered or not. It's old enough. Could be. It's like probably older than I am. But that's a really interesting design. I would definitely be mindful in shipping one of these if you sell one online about how you package it. This was seated in there pretty good, but at the same time you want to make sure, just want to check something here. Yep, you want to make sure that any impacts are being absorbed, because if this gets shook hard enough, there's a good possibility that these cards could come loose. And I would suspect that if you're buying one of these secondhand online, you might want to double check that if things are acting weird. So I think I'm going to freehand this so I can get a little closer in on some of the stuff. I might need additional light. There we go. Got various circuitry in here. A lot of electrolytic capacitors. I feel like if I were keeping this for myself, I would probably consider doing a recap. I'm looking through my own eyes, not the camera. Oh, come on, focus. I want to show the ends. I don't even know. These look kind of crusty to me. Too much zoom. Let's look at these other ones. Where am I in the world? 3x zoom makes it hard to see what's going on. I don't know if that's bad or not. Might not be. But yeah, kind of interesting. Not what I was expecting for design. But definitely fancy. Honestly, I don't even know if they design most preamps this good these days. At least from a repairability standpoint. Because, like, odds are one of the functions of the preamp will fail before, like, most of the time your knobs don't go bad. They'll get dirty, but I have an AdCom preamp that I blew up because I hit it with some static electricity. Also not sure. There we go. And one of the input preamp chips is just fried, so it'd be nice if I could just rip out the whole, preamp section, find that chip, and hell, these are socketed even, I just noticed. That is wild. So yeah, I mean, like from a repairability standpoint, this thing's pretty crazy. Now, if you want to get down into the board, that part might suck. I don't know. Actually, it might not. Don't like the idea of doing this, but I'm going to try doing this one-handed. Yeah. Bottom panel is removable. So you could, presumably you could get to the components on the main board without having to completely tear that board out. That is wild. Like, I'm not used to seeing stuff that's this repairable. I think there's some things that might give you grief. Like, I'm not sure how these board assemblies would come out attached to the switches. But I have a feeling that they thought that out. Looks like you got a reinforcing plates here for the banks of switches. Also, I'm not sure if these are the right spacing for rack mounting, but if that is the case, that'd be pretty cool. I'd have to measure those, but I wouldn't rack mount it anyways. I would have it on a shelf if it were me. But yeah, not really a very productive video. Just for archival purposes, I wanted to take a little peek. So, I don't know. Hopefully that's interesting, and thanks for watching.